and this is the grand episode 052, which means we've had an episode every single week for an entire year.
My name is Eddie Wu. I studied a Bachelor of Education Honours degree at Sydney University, and I am a high school mathematics teacher. Success for me is having a lasting positive difference on an individual. Even though I love speaking to very large crowds, I just spoke to 1,500 people for a public lecture last week. That was amazing, but I don't think there's anything more profound or deep than having a really permanent impact on the trajectory of a single child's life. That single change that I can make will ripple out into that person's life and all the people they interact with. That for me is success.
Welcome to Innovator Diaries, a show where influencers and leaders from all walks of life share their story and experiences. You learn the strategies and action points that have helped them find success and get to where they are today. You'll hear their stories and valuable advice to help you on your own path. These messages may also help somebody you know, so please share. Eddie, look, I'm so grateful that you are sparing some time with me because I think your story is very interesting. You're the head teacher of mathematics at Cherrybrook Technology High School. You also have a YouTube channel which is really famous within students because you have millions of views and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You've also won the New South Wales Premier Prize for Innovation in Science and Mathematics, the Commonwealth Bank Teaching Award, and you were also named the 2018 New South Wales Local Hero at the Australian of the Year Awards. And you're top 10 finalist in the Global Teacher Prize. So a lot of things, and that's really good. So I just want to learn why this is happening. You must be doing something different, which is really cool. And finally, you now have a new book, which we can talk at the end. So perhaps we can start by you telling us a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah, it has been an unusual journey, and I'm really grateful for the fact that going right back to the beginning, even though I certainly couldn't have seen it then, a lot of the threads that have been laid down to make my life as it is certainly started early on. So I would characterize my childhood as, particularly my early childhood in primary school up to age sort of 11 or 12, I would characterize it as one where I was not in a bad place. I've born in Australia. This is a very comfortable, prosperous land, but at the same time, I was quite lonely and confused. I guess the reason for that is I'm the third of three children, and as a consequence, my brother and sister were quite close in age, and I'm a long way after. So I often found it difficult. I couldn't watch the movies they watched. I couldn't go and do the things they did. And so I kind of had to find my own way to, what am I going to do in life? What am I going to enjoy? I quickly turned to learning and reading, and I deeply enjoyed that. My parents cultivated that. They moved from Malaysia here to Australia for many reasons, but primarily to secure an education for us. And in Malaysia, where they themselves were born, as the children of Chinese migrants, they could not receive all the same kinds of education and employment opportunities as the people who had been born there. And so, as the people whose heritage was there, I should say. So they came here prizing education, and that was something I naturally took on. But as a child, that was something which I took on sort of by myself, having a migrant background, looking different, and particularly in primary school, being surrounded by people who didn't really know what I was about, didn't know where I came from, didn't know that I was born here. I was bullied as a child. I was looked at as the very stereotypical, he's the bookish nerd who can't make friends and all that kind of thing. And that was a difficult time. And that formed in some ways, it formed my love of learning and forged it to be something even deeper, because it was one of the few places where I found joy. I didn't enjoy great social.
Want to listen to the entire interview? Simply go to innovatordiaries.com/episode number. Or you can find this episode and hundreds of other great stories on Google Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast player is. Please check me out on LinkedIn. Follow or connect with me as I'm very proactive on that social network. And finally, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You'll get all the new stories as soon as they're released. See you next time.